Hi.
Hola.
Hola.
Hello.
Can you say hello in any other languages? Ciao.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Yeah, that's all I got.
We're starting off with a language lesson. Clearly, we both need some brushing up. Welcome to the first episode of Good Enough that I'm recording here in Brooklyn, New York. Spencer and I met last night outside of Van Leeuwen Ice Cream. Shout out. And he's a fill-in for my guest, who I won't call out, but his name is Nathan Bodenstein. And he runs Swirl Media, which is a wine publication, which I think is based in New York. And he's busy. He's up in the Berkshires with his family. So it's such a New York thing that I was just out getting ice cream last night, and Spencer just approached me and started asking me just some like random questions. And I was like, you seem like a really like boisterous, outgoing gentleman who would be a great fill-in for Nathan. So thank you so much for coming on my podcast and having known me for like 30 minutes.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm excited.
Thank you.
I'm really excited.
Even his shoes say "why not" on them with a question mark. That's how you know someone is really open to like having new experiences. Yeah,
that's like actions. Exactly what I want to do. Because I quit my job and I'm just like traveling and I just want to experience the world.
Yeah, let's get into that.
And meet people and connect and learn. And so it's like actually my dream, just like meet random people.
That's beautiful.
And then do a podcast with them.
We need more people like you in the world who want human connection. I really like genuinely think that.
Thanks.
You're welcome. I don't even know your last name. What is your full name, Spencer?
Spencer Jeffrey Sorensen.
What is it? Classic. Sorensen?
Sorensen.
Kind of like Anna Sorokin. Do you know who that is?
No.
Anna Delvey? Inventing Anna?
No.
What? You've never heard of Inventing Anna?
No.
We'll sidebar about this after. It's a TV show. It's based on a real woman who's an icon. She's a schemer.
An icon?
Yeah.
Okay.
But back to you. So do you want to like kind of give your side of the story last night? I mean, all I know about you is you were outside of Van Leeuwen in Williamsburg drinking a Corona out of a can. Walks up to me and starts asking me about vegan ice cream. And I was like, I'm going to be honest, I had an edible. So I was down to chat. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
I was getting ice cream alone at like 11 p.m. on a random Wednesday. So
yeah. Living your best life.
Some might say.
Yeah, I actually, yesterday was fascinating.
You came here from Utah.
Okay, yeah. Quick backstory. I am from Utah.
Mm-hmm.
My dream for a long time has been to travel the world. Growing up in Utah, it just feels like I love it. And I want to see the world. I want to see how other people live. And no, it's good enough. Well,
do you ski?
I love skiing. Yes. Okay. I actually really do love Utah. And I just want to see the world.
Yeah.
And see how other people live their lives. And I want to like
get some perspective.
Yeah. I want to connect with people from all different cultures and different walks of life and see what makes them happy and how they live. So I finally got the courage to like actually quit my job and do it. So I bought a one-way ticket.
And what were you doing before? What field?
I was working for a company called Tribe House. It's
Trap House?
Tribe House.
Oh, that's cool.
It's
I'm hearing some giggles from the production room.
Yeah, Trap House. It's a little different. No, it's a networking company. We'd host events and retreats for business leaders in Utah.
Lit. No alcohol, I'm assuming.
No.
Okay.
No. But I loved it. It was a great job.
Okay.
And then it just kind of felt a little unfulfilling, and I've always wanted to travel. And so now's the time.
When did you quit? So today is September 19th, 2024. When did you quit your job?
July. Oh, wow. Like the end of July.
And what was that thought process like for you? Like, what was kind of the breaking point, like the straw that broke the camel's back that you were like, I'm actually going to do this? And that's my first question. My second question is like, historically, is this like your personality to kind of just like say, fuck it?
Yeah.
Okay. I got that vibe from you.
Yeah. I love just changing my whole life in a day. No, I was feeling like I needed to stick with this job for like at least a year because it was like my first kind of real corporate big boy job.
Mm-hmm.
And so
you were there for 1 year.
I started in January and I was planning on going until next January.
Good for you. Least. Most people suffer for at least 20 years before their brain turns on.
So I only ended up working there for 8 months. What really switched things around was my job. Originally when I was there, my job was a lot more people focused, and it became less and less people focused and more computer like email
administrative,
campaign,
operational.
Yes.
The worst.
And I'm just not good at that stuff.
It's
and
boring
I get
as hell.
So drained. I know.
It's boring as hell. No one fucking likes that shit.
Well, some people are really good at it.
Yeah, but just because someone's good at something doesn't mean they like it. You know?
True.
Like anyone could be good at patching up wounds. Doesn't mean I want to potentially get a disease.
But some people like it.
Some people like helping people, but I guess my point is that was a terrible like example. Like you could be really like my mom. She's amazing at folding laundry.
Yeah.
Does that mean she wants to fold laundry? Hell no. That bitch would rather be at the bar with a martini, chilling.
For sure. Yeah.
Back to you.
Yeah, sure. Most people probably hate that stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
probably everyone.
I don't sound off in the comments. I don't want to assume.
But yeah, it just became too
unfulfilling.
Yeah. It just kind of like wore on me enough that finally was like, okay, I need to change something.
Yeah.
And we got some new management. And so it was like felt like a good time where I didn't feel like I was really adding a lot to the company anymore. And I didn't feel like the company was really adding to me, you know?
Yes.
Where you feel like my skills aren't being like valued on their side. And also I don't feel like I'm really adding value because it's just not a match anymore. Yeah. What's your experience?
No, I'm nodding my head and like trying to hold myself back from cutting you off because I hate when talk show hosts do that. But
I don't mind it at all.
So for context, I used to do software sales at a company in New York. I was at the office yesterday. I'm still very close with the whole team that I worked with there. Amazing people. That's where I cut my teeth. That's where I learned how to literally sell myself and sell anything. Honestly, like amazing team. But I moved through like 3 or 4 different roles during my time there in a couple years, and I'm only 25. So I felt like I got to a point where the job I was doing was I was an SDR, then I was an SDR manager, if you know sales. I was managing a team of like 10 sales reps, which I enjoyed because it was literally, I was a therapist effectively. Anyone who was on my team, it's just like, how are you doing? Yeah, cold calling sucks. Keep grinding though. Get that money. Like, which that's not, I don't mean to minimize the job because learning how to become a salesperson, I think is an invaluable skill. But then I moved from San Diego to New York to kind of grow at the company. And an opportunity arose, I think, because I moved and I was in front of our executive team's faces on a weekly basis to kind of open up the sales enablement department, which is just a bunch of admin work. It's a lot. I mean, it's different at every company, but for me, it was a lot of like, not admin, but like a lot of just me behind the computer, putting trainings together and just like a very draining and like
it's exhausting
and not a lot of communication, not a lot of FaceTime with people.
Yes. You need
which they warned me of. And I was just like, oh, more money. Sure. Classic. But the reason why I quit is because I just felt like I wasn't adding anything to the company. I was like, but from my boss's perspective, shout out to Jordana, she was like, no, I need you, because like I was taking work off of her plate, which that's like what a team does. You help each other. But I didn't realize the value I was adding because I didn't feel like it was challenging. I felt like I was doing monkey work. If I were to go back and do the job now, I would approach it very differently. I think I could do it really effectively, but that doesn't mean I want to do it. You know? Mm-hmm. That's my story.
Yeah, like finally, way to go. But
I did, one more thing is I did email them because I got very depressed after that. I like was putting all of my self-worth into what I was doing at work. I quit. I did a yoga teacher training program in New York, like the classic find yourself thing to do. Everyone in a yoga teacher training program is like suffering. It's really palpable. Well, some people are just doing it because they love yoga, but the rest of us are like, help.
Yeah. I've thought about doing yoga teacher training. Oh, yeah.
But I actually wrote I wrote an email to my boss, Jordana, and my other boss, Isaiah, who's actually, I'm going up to Westchester on Tuesday to record with him at his home. But I wrote them an email when I was like super depressed after I quit. And I was like, I'm so sorry for like how I left things. And like within like minutes, I got an email back from Isaiah and he was like, you do not need to apologize. He was like, his words were like, you recognized it wasn't for you and you decided to leave instead of just faking it. And he said, that was very classy of me. So I'm taking that compliment to the grave, Isaiah.
Good job.
Thank you.
Well done.
Just here to get pats on the back. Yeah. What was your relationship like with your like company though when you quit? You were there for like almost a year, so I'm sure that it wasn't like, were you going in office?
Mm-hmm.
Were you like really close? Like, did you feel bad quitting or were you like, just, I need to focus on myself? How did you quit, by the way? That's interesting.
I didn't feel bad quitting because
you did not.
The person who hired me, who I really looked up to and I learned a lot from and did the job a lot because of him. He wasn't really like
mentoring you,
working with me anymore because like the company like shifted.
Understood.
So we had a new like COO come in and he kind of started running things differently. And so it felt like the team that I came into was like shifting anyway. So it actually felt like a really good time.
Okay. There's like a changing of the guards.
Yeah. So
a season of attrition, as my old boss would call it.
Yeah. And so my day to day, I was like, this is just not working for me. So I went to my boss.
In person or online?
In person.
Okay.
And I was just talking to him about like, is there any other ways?
I did the same thing. I'm like, can I do something else?
Yes.
Can I be like the vibe girl?
There. Yeah. Can I?
Make you guys laugh all day? Other? You know?
Wouldn't that be such a good job?
I could order them.
Snack. The office snack person.
I honestly could have been a great office manager.
Why don't you?
I don't want to do that.
Okay.
I'm so tired of working for other people. That's why I'm doing this. Please subscribe, you guys. This needs to be my full-time job. It will be. I'm manifesting it. This, cool. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, selling vintage clothes. This is my passion in traveling.
Vintage clothes.
As much as I love ordering snacks, I like ordering them for myself, not an office of 40 people with 9 different allergies. You know?
The allergies would be a pain.
You know, I was vegan once, so I can't hate, but it's a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But what was I saying?
Hold that thought. You know what we forgot to do?
Yeah. Our
outfits.
Yes.
This is a very important part of the show. And we forgot to say what's not good enough right now. This is Connor, I don't know if you've podcasted with someone with ADHD, but welcome. I'm sure you have. We're doing
plenty of times.
Okay. We're doing everything in reverse. Let's start with our outfits.
Okay.
You go first, please. Unless you want me to go first.
Okay. So I actually have 3 pairs of shorts.
On?
No. Like I packed everything into a backpack.
Yes. So so everyone's clear on this. Spencer got a one-way flight from Utah to New York, and then he's going to Lisbon. And so he has a backpack of stuff.
Yeah.
This is something I could never do. I brought 5 pairs of shoes for 7 days to New York. I'm dead serious.
Really?
Yeah.
You were wearing those same shoes last night.
Well, thanks for calling me out.
Yeah, it was hard. I had to have my sister help me. But I decided on these are my classic shoes that I was going to wear for everything.
Show them the thing.
So I have these shoes.
Do you have the sewing thing on just one side?
Oh, and then I have Nike on this side.
It says what not or why not on one side. Did you sew that yourself?
Yeah.
Oh my God, look at you. Okay,
Converse,
Martha.
And I always embroider my Converse.
Love that.
Yeah.
That could be a side hustle for you.
Yeah, I've actually embroidered Converse for people before.
Could you make me some Converse that say good enough?
For sure.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm holding you to that.
Okay, I will.
Okay.
Yeah, I love it. So I got these shoes. And then these are just classic.
How do you feel about
everything.
people calling them jorts?
I like it.
You do? Okay.
I'm about it.
Because like I'm seeing a guy and I was like, oh, I like your denim shorts. And he was like, oh, thanks for not calling them jorts.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, what else would you call them?
Denim shorts.
I like jorts.
Okay. And you know what I also think? I'd like to hear your thoughts. I never hear anyone call them jorts when they're on a woman. Especially a straight woman.
No, I've heard that.
You have?
Yeah, for sure.
Normally they're just like, oh, like your shorts. But I've never, like for guys, I'm like, oh, those are jorts. But if I see a girl in like some Levi cutoffs, I'm like, nice shorts.
Huh.
You know? No thoughts?
Jorts. I
Anyways,
just
moving on
always
to the
think they're
top.
jorts. The top, I honestly only have like a few t-shirts and they're all kind of dirty right now. So I
appreciate you cleaning up for my guests.
I stole this from my friend's closet as I was running out the door.
Who are you staying with? Who are you staying with here?
One of my best friends, Sam.
Shout out to Sam.
Sam Larson. He lives out here.
Wait, Sam Larson?
Do you know Sam?
Why do I know that name? Did he go to Harvard or no, Stanford?
No.
Never mind. Thinking of someone else who, oh no, that Sam Larson I know lives in San Francisco. Never mind.
No, there's Sam Larson.
Okay.
He's better.
Okay.
Better Sam Larson. But yeah, I'm just staying with him. And so I just stole his.
How do you guys know each other?
We went to college together.
Where?
BYU.
OMG.
Brigham Young University.
How are we just now uncovering this?
We actually were on a study abroad in Jerusalem together. That's how we met. We were roommates.
Are you Jewish?
No.
Okay. What are there Jewish Mormons or does that not add up?
That doesn't add up.
Okay.
You gotta pick one or the other. Or maybe you could be into both. That's cool. But
you can be anything these days.
We were both study. So it was study abroad. So we were living in Jerusalem. But through like the Brigham Young University's.
That's a very religious place.
Campus.
That makes sense. Okay. I don't know why. I'm Catholic and obviously, I mean, I'm not Catholic. Let's be clear. I was raised Catholic. And Jerusalem was always talked about.
Yes, it's a very religious place.
It's a very holy land. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just making myself giggle.
Yeah. So Sam and I, we had a hell of a time out there. Became best buds. And then
so where is the shirt from?
His closet.
Can you?
That's all I know.
Okay. Well, it's a mystery. My outfit. These are my Adidas Sambas, which I feel like I was late to the trend, but I love them. Anyways, I got them in Germany actually when I was in Berlin last month. My socks are Viore, and I didn't even plan this. I was actually going to cancel this episode because I thought he wasn't going to show up. So I literally rushed over here in a hurry. There's like 7 layers of sweat under this. This outfit.
Why did you think I wasn't going to show up?
Because I forgot that I gave you my number and I was DMing you on Instagram and you didn't answer.
Oh,
and I was like, fuck
I don't have my notifications on for Instagram.
Good for you. No, seriously. I called 2 other people to replace you. Luckily, they both said no.
Really?
Yeah. No, I think it was meant to be though that they were like, oh, I can't. Like, let's do another day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm scheduling more guests, Connor. Watch out.
Phenomenal.
But back to my outfit. Viore is actually a wonderful brand I will plug. This is not spons. Because they're a San Diego-based company, and I lived in San Diego for 8 years. That's where their flagship store is, and now it's like a massive brand. I think I will say this. I think it's better than Lululemon. I think they're
really,
yeah. If you look at a Lululemon window display, tell me those colors don't hurt your eyes. The neon. I thought we were past that.
Yeah, but some of them are really good.
I disagree, but to each their own. This is from Viore. I love brown. I love neutrals. And then this jacket is from a brand.
Jacket.
Thank you. I just got it.
So rad.
My mom thinks I spent too much on it and then also asked to borrow it. I'm like, pick one.
Yeah,
you can't roast me for spending money on a jacket.
But classic at the same time with the huge pockets.
Yeah. So it's
and
utilitarian.
The cuffs are like it's like a white colored shirt.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
It's cool.
Yeah. The brand is Rachel Comey. I think she might be out of New York. I bought this at a boutique called P54 in Bucktown in Chicago in my neighborhood. And there were also matching pants to it, but they weren't baggy. I really like the baggy look right now, like oversized. And they were kind of a straight leg. So the saleswoman, what was her name? Eileen. She was a real one. She was like, they're not working. And I was like, you're right. So this is the jacket. Yeah. I love how utilitarian utilitarian these pockets are, because a lot of women's clothes don't have pockets, so we have to have other people carry our shit in bags. A lot of baggage. And then I have a Russian manicure, which I just got for the first time, where
What's a Russian manicure?
They like cut off all your cuticles. They like drill them off. It's really gnarly, but it's satisfying. So the whole point of it is it lasts a long time, because the manicure is so far back that when your nail bed grows out, you know, you have more runway.
Interesting. More runway.
Yeah, just throwing in a quick financial term there.
Yeah, beautiful.
This is a financial podcast.
My sister always wants to like push back my cuticles, and I say no.
Yeah. You know, you say no. Just say no.
Just say no. I like my cuticles.
Okay, good. Good. Anyways, if you're a fitness instructor, you get 40% off at Viore, which is why I love them so much. Literally,
because you're like a yoga teacher.
Yeah, but like even if you like do like if you're like a personal trainer, bar, Pilates, like I don't even know what even is a fitness instructor. If you teach swim lessons, does that count? I don't know how they define it, but if you upload your certificate, it's called like, I don't know, look it up. It's like some program. It's like just look it up, and you get 40% off everything, and like you could do online orders, and they're not really
That's really
they don't really
smart
check. You know, if you know what I mean. You know, if you're trying to get something for a friend, for your mom, you know.
Perfect.
So
that's actually really smart for them, because then all of the instructors are wearing Viore. So then everyone in the class wants to wear Viore.
I'm sitting proof that like I'm literally free promo. Actually, my grandbag from my sorority I went to San Diego State, and I actually was kicked out of my sorority, but that's a story for another time.
Why?
Do you really want to know?
If you want to tell.
Yeah, this would be a great clip. But I was kicked out of my sorority. It was really stupid. It was like nothing like nefarious. It was just like dumb sorority hierarchical bullshit, if you ask me. And this isn't to call out anyone, because I feel like everyone has grown since college. So the people involved in this, I'm really not trying to come for you. I hope you're doing well, but it was bullshit, candidly. But anyways, my grandbig from the sorority, she was one of like Viore's first employees. She was like doing operations for them. And now they're like a 600 person, like massive company, just crushing it.
Wow.
It's really soft. Feel it.
Oh, that is nice.
It's nice, like butter. It's more athleisure, I would say, than like if you're really trying to like go to like Barry's. They have probably stuff for that too. Anyways, this is like a 50-minute long Viore ad. Moving on. That's my outfit. And my hair clip is from a store in Chicago. Carter got it for me. Can't remember. Oh, and my necklace is from a brand sent me this for free. Really, really out here just collecting free shit as an influencer. But if anyone wants to send me a check, that would be even better.
It'll come.
Straight up. Like the free stuff is great, but like I have bills, you guys. So Viore, I'm requesting $20,000. Do you really want to know the sorority story?
Yeah.
I need to take a sip of this drink before I get into this, because this is good stuff, you guys.
How long is this sorority story?
I can make it short. So, one moment.
Yeah, take your time. Take your time.
I won't say the name of the sorority I was in, because I don't want to tarnish the name, because I made great friends. Like genuinely, some of my best friends I made in that sorority. Do I think sororities are a messed up institution, especially at San Diego State? Yes. Do I think that there are rules that apply to sorority girls that don't apply to frat boys? Yes. It's ridiculous. Actually, there's like this period called silence, literally silence, where when the frats are rushing, the girls are not allowed to go out, because we will influence what frats the boys join. Like, oh, if the hot girls are going to these parties, we want to join it. But during sorority rush, the people pledging fraternities are free to run amok, which is insane. Were you in a frat? No. BYU probably doesn't have that. No, that's good. And don't get me wrong, I think there's positives to brotherhood and philanthropy, but like, let's be real. Like at SDSU, it was like partying. It was a party school. Like I went there because I saw an I'm Schmacked video and I was like, this place looks sick. My parents wanted me to go to USD, University of San Diego, which is like a Catholic or maybe like Jesuit school. And it's beautiful. But I was like, SDSU though, bikinis, parties, pool parties, jungle juice, Plandle, frats. Like there were DJs coming like Louis the Child, Manila Killa, Jai Wolf, all these like frat DJs. It's a good time. But this Greek life was like really messed up, I think. And when you're in it and you have like, I would say the pretty privilege to be in it, you are completely blind to all of the collateral damage of the whole idea of Greek life. It's crazy. Like my freshman year roommate, who actually lives in New York, she was not in a sorority, and it like created a divide between us because it was like, oh, you don't have the group me to get into this party. I'm sorry. I like literally, I was 17 when I went to college. I was like, I don't, I didn't have like the, what's the word? I don't know. I just didn't have like the wherewithal to be like, oh, this is wrong. Like I shouldn't just like, it's not okay to just ditch my friend and my roommate because she's not invited. I should like hang out with her instead some nights, I guess I didn't feel like I had the agency to be like, this is wrong. And also like, I'm not going to change the whole system because I don't like the rules,
Yeah, you were 17 years old.
Yeah. I was a child.
You went to college at 17?
I was like, I'm a year younger than everyone who like growing up. I went to school early.
Smart cookie.
I'm brilliant. Shh. Do you know what that reference is?
No.
She's the Man.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That movie's so good. But yeah, so basically what happened is I'll give the short of it because it's honestly not worth my breath at this point in life. I'm 25. But I'm trying to think there was like several incidents, and actually I'm happy that we charged my phone because I will pull up and read the email that I sent to our nationals because I've read it and it's pretty good for like a teenager, which is so weird to say. Like, yeah, when I was 17, 18, 19, I was a teenager.
Yeah.
Which is weird. You think you're like so grown in college, but you're literally a child with like freedom. But so I think the first incident was I wanted to sell t-shirts. I've always been very entrepreneurial. My dad's an entrepreneur. Both of my grandfathers were. And so I wanted to sell t-shirts because all of the, like at BYU, they didn't have frats. So were there any organizations on campus that like sold t-shirts for profit? No. Okay. Not even like nothing? Okay. Well,
anyways, you keep going with your story.
The frats sold t-shirts. Like it was like every like 4 weeks there was like a new t-shirt. It was like the SIGEP, the SAE, like it was like a new design because they would throw all these parties. Like there was like a Dr. Seuss theme party. There was like a Winter Wonderland party, and they would make shirts for all these themes and individually profit off of them. Like one guy was British, and I think he was like very entrepreneurial as well, and he would like always make shirts and sell them for money. And I was like, hey, I want to make some money. I don't want to work at a coffee shop. I'd rather crank out 100 t-shirts and make $1,000. So I designed these t-shirts with my boyfriend at the time. Do you know Chance the Rapper? Mm-hmm. You know the album Acid Rap?
Maybe.
It has like the drippy logo. It's like a pink and purple like acid wash graphic. I kind of used that as inspiration and made a t-shirt, a black t-shirt with that kind of drip, like super custom. And I like started to advertise it. I didn't even think to ask, I think, because I was just like, I'm telling it, this is harmless. And I get called into standards board, which is like sorority, like court.
They have sorority court?
Straight up. It's called the standards board. And this is like, it's like their standard for what a sister should be like. Mind you, like just
who runs these
people and individuals,
like people who are also like, in the sorority.
Yes, my peers,
like higher up in the sorority.
I guess. Yeah, they're just sorority girls.
Yeah,
effectively. And So I get called in, and it's like not just a standards person, because I think there was like one standards person or maybe multiple. And then there's like the president, and then there's like the finance person, like the social, the philanthropy. There's a whole team. There's a squad of girls running the show. And I got along very well with most of them. And I got called in, and they were basically like, you can't do this. And I was like, why? And they were like, the t-shirt chair is in charge of it. And I was like, oh, great. Like, who's the t-shirt chair? And they're like, we don't have one. And I'm like,
well, great.
Oh. I'm like,
perfect.
I volunteer.
You are. Yeah.
So that happened. And then I was kind of just like, fuck it. These are in production. I was like, I'll give a percentage to our philanthropy, which was for fighting domestic violence. Rejected. So I was like, you know what? I'm the type of person that would rather ask for forgiveness and permission. I'm not going to get kicked out for this. It's a t-shirt. Like, who cares? This was strike one. So I sold the t-shirt. My friend Marissa kind of helped me with it. I remember Marissa. She's like the sweetest person ever. She's like 5 feet tall, very sweet. And we're in another time I got called in, I think. And she was with me because she was kind of like my partner in crime, but like a silent partner. I was kind of like the one like kind of taking all the heat from.
You were the face.
Yeah. And I was like, I like kind of went off on them. I was like, this is ridiculous. Like the guys do this. Like, why can't we? There's no t-shirt chair, blah, blah, blah. Like it felt like a personal vendetta, which I've experienced a lot in my life as like a very outspoken woman, I think. And you look scared. Are you okay?
Yeah. This is a great story. I want to hear the end of it.
You look focused.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
I'm dialed in.
Connor, are you enjoying the story?
Yeah, I'm excited to see what the outcome is.
Okay, yeah, I'll continue.
He's on his toes.
Everyone's at the edge of their seat. So I like go off. Probably shouldn't have gone off on them, but I did. And I was like, Marissa, like say something. She's like, no, I'm not. She's like, she's a very peaceful person. She's like Switzerland. She's like, I'm not getting in the middle of this. Okay. So I sell the shirts. I make a lot of money for like a college student, and life goes on. And then I think because of that, there was a few incidences. The other incident was there's like this thing called like a date dash, it's our formal. It's like the main thing you pay for. And sororities are expensive, like thousands of dollars.
Really?
Yeah. This is the thing about Greek life.
You pay thousands of dollars a year to be a part of a sorority?
You pay to effectively make friends and go to parties. That's what it is.
Worth it?
Yeah. But like, I'll be transparent. Like, I wasn't paying. I couldn't afford that. My parents paid for it. I was lucky enough to have parents who were like, could afford it and willing to. And there are plenty of people who are paying their own student loans. I don't have any student loans. I'm very grateful for my parents and privileged that my parents were able to pay for my college. They didn't even pay for all of my siblings, but I'm just really good at selling myself.
Yeah.
So, I'm not the favorite, but I can sell myself. And whatever. It's expensive. And where was I even going with this?
Well, you should finish what happened in the story.
So what happened was, the next thing that happened was, the formal. Yes. So I was just starting to see my college boyfriend at the time. I don't even think we were official yet. And I was so excited to take him to the formal because I was like, great, this is like a planned date that we don't even have to plan. It's like kind of like being in high school. It's like, oh, great, I get to take the boy I like to a thing. And I don't have to like ask. It's like kind of unspoken that we're going to go together because we're seeing each other. So it was like, great, this is a layup. And I get told that as like punishment or something for the t-shirt thing, I have to be a sober sister. And I could be, nobody fact checked me on this because like it could be out of order, but all of these things did happen. Or somebody can fact check me, someone that was on the standards board. Feel free to reach out. But what happened was I was supposed to be a sober sister for an event, which is even a messed up thing to begin with. It's like you have to not drink to make sure that the other girls in the sorority don't get like blackout drunk and get into some dangerous situations, if you know what I mean. Because dangerous things did happen at SDSU, and I'm sure they still do, just like they happen at universities all across the United States. Very dangerous situations. And there was one night where I went out, just like a random, like I went out a lot. So it could have been any night of the week. Could have been a Monday. And I was out and I saw a couple girls from the executive board, not standards, but like just girls who were just on the executive board. And one of them told me, don't worry about being sober, sister, for the formal. Like, don't worry about it. And I was like, oh, thanks. Okay. Like I could drink. I never was like one to like get out of control. I'm always like I've always been a very responsible drinker. I'm like the mom of a friend group. And so I drank at the formal, or no, I drink at a date dash, I think. Yeah, I'm getting the stories mixed up. I drank at a date dash where actually my friend went with the guy who ended up being my boyfriend, and I went with his friend. And I got in trouble for leaving early, and like we left in like a Prius of like 9 people. And San Diego was really close to the border. So there's a lot of families from Mexico who tried to find work in San Diego doing Uber or whatever. And this Uber driver made his child go in the trunk so that they could fit all of us. Which was just crazy. So there's like 10 of us packed into this Uber. This man's child is literally in the trunk, and we get called in. Only I get called in out of everyone in the car for being in trouble for leaving this date dash early because I was supposed to be a sober sister. And I'm like, I had to leave early. I think my date might have been too drunk. My friend Adam.
So you were doing your job as a sober sister.
Yeah, I was being a sister to my date
who needed them. Yeah,
so, yeah. Thank you. So I left. I got in trouble for that, and they were like, because of that, you have to be sober or you can't go to formal. Or no, they said I had to be sober at another event, but I was out of town. I was visiting my side guy in Austin. He went to UT Austin. He was like my high school fling, shout out. And so I went to go visit him, and this was in like October of sophomore year. So this all happened really early on. And I went to go visit him at UT. I was like partying at the Jewish frats, having a great time. And I come back and I get in trouble because like I wasn't sober. I was like, guys, I was out of town. I was busy seeing my side hoe. I'm kidding. And no, it's just like my high school fling that I wanted to go like party with at his college. So that happened. And then because of that, the final straw was you can't go to formal. And this is when I was dating the guy. And I was pissed. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going. So I went. This is where all hell broke loose on this bus outside of like this venue in downtown San Diego. The girl gets on the bus. A person gets on the bus. I don't want to call anyone out. This is a true story. And starts like yelling in my face. Like yelling.
In front of everyone.
In front of everyone. And she's probably drunk. I mean, I was too. Everyone was pre-gaming before. And I literally like, and I'm not like I was a more abrasive when I was younger because I grew up in a very chaotic household. But like in college, a very like San Diego, very laid back, very just like fun, loving person. But I had it up to here with this. I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I was like, fuck you. Like, fuck you. I like said, like I was like going off and all my friends were backing me up. And they're like, yeah, shut the fuck up. Like a fight was about to break loose. Like dead
You
serious.
started a full on sorority fight.
No, I didn't start it.
The other person started it.
Yeah.
But you fought back.
Yeah. I was like, I'm not taking this shit anymore. Like I paid to be here. This is the most expensive event at some like fancy ass venue. I want to bring my date. Like, let me go. I'm a good person. And the president at the time, I don't want to call anyone out, but someone else on the executive board literally told her like, you need to calm down because she was being aggressive. I like feel bad telling the story. Like, I don't want to make anyone feel bad, but like this did happen. What do you think?
Oh, well, what happened after that? So you guys,
No, we didn't physically fight.
Oh, okay.
My friends were like backing me up and I was like, you know what? Fuck this. Like I'm leaving. So my date and I went to dinner downtown in San Diego and had a nice night.
Oh,
we had
nice.
a classy evening in downtown San Diego. And
Did you end up getting kicked out?
I was not allowed into the venue. And the crazy thing was the next day, girls that were younger who were in the freshman class who I was friends with. I was very close with the younger girls because mind you, I'm a year younger than everyone. So I really connect with people below me because they're my age. And I was getting sent screenshots from girls saying like, screenshots from the person who wanted me to be kicked out saying, I'll Venmo money to whoever finds married uncle and kicks her out. And I have the receipts of that.
Wow.
Do you want me to read the letter I have that I sent to the standards board? So all this happened.
Yeah. And
then I get an email saying that they're submitting me to be dismissed from the sorority. And me, I'm like, I think I'm 18 at this point. My life is over. Like Mom, I'm getting kicked out of the sorority. Like, fuck, like my life's over. So I wrote this, like, what I think is a well-written letter for an 18-year-old to the Nationals board, which, mind you,
is there?
So there's like, sororities are so weird. They're so archaic. The Nationals board is like the oldest living sorority members that make decisions. And so I went to San Diego State. The Nationals board is in DePauw, Indiana, at DePauw University, which is like a 2,000 person school, like a random tiny ass school.
Wait, and who's part of this?
Like some older women who were in AKIO there. I think it's like the founding chapter. Like that's where AKIO
are the same.
I didn't mean to say the sorority. I'll
in like a bunch of different states.
Yes.
Oh, so this went back to like the main sorority.
I think the sorority was started at this school in Indiana.
She wrote them an email.
Correct. Basically, what's the word for it? Petitioning to not be kicked out. I'll make it my phone. It's in my Google Drive. Shout out to Google Drive. So, yeah, I'm so happy that we're telling this story. I'm sorry that the focus has shifted. You're supposed to be my guest. I could have done this on a solo episode, but I'm glad you're enjoying the lore of sorority life.
Yeah, I don't know anything about sorority life.
I wouldn't recommend.
Really?
Actually, no, my little sister went to UCLA and she just graduated and she was in a sorority there, and I actually visited the house and the girls were so sweet. I think I just had a very skewed negative experience because San Diego State is a very competitive school when it comes to like looks and money, I would say. And UCLA is the number one public university in the country. And those girls are there to work hard and move on with their lives. And San Diego State was kind of like I don't want to like degrade SDSU because it's an amazing school, amazing professors, but it's a little bit more sceney. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
There was a lot of like models and influencers, and it was just like a lot very image focused from my perspective. All right, let's see if I have service in here and can pull this up. This is just...
So wait, did they...
They kicked me out. They sent me like a really canned email back.
So when you get kicked out, you have to move out.
So I didn't live in the house. That was a thing. It meant basically getting kicked out was the dumbest thing ever. Because I was really excited after the initial shock wore off, because then I could like go to parties and stuff when all the girls weren't allowed to hang out with their guy friends. Another thing that I actually got in trouble for was, it was my birthday in September of sophomore year. And this was another thing I got in trouble for, was like another thing that they kind of added to the list of reasons why I was getting kicked out, was guys came over to my apartment to bring me a birthday gift. I think they brought me like a Smirnoff Ice, if we're being honest. And some of the guys that were there were boyfriends of girls on the executive board. And this was during the silence period where we weren't allowed to hang out with our male friends.
When there's silence periods?
Remember I told you about it?
Where you're not able
when the boys are rushing fraternities.
Oh, that whole part.
Because we're going to influence these 18-year-old boys of what frat they want to join because of what girls they think are hot or cool or whatever. Yeah, it's really archaic. Okay, I found the email.
Okay, read it.
I think this email is well written, but I really could have used a few paragraph breaks and some better punctuation in here. The funniest part of this email is like the receipts at the bottom. Look.
Oh, you wrote people's names and numbers.
Yeah, and like the receipt for my flight to Austin.
Quiet.
I'm a Virgo, so
you're like,
you know,
detailed.
I'm very organized. Okay, are you ready to hear it?
Yeah.
Let me just have another sip of my matcha.
Let's hear this.
Okay. Dear Alpha, I'll start over. Dear insert sorority name Nationals, I am writing to you with great concern about the submission of my membership to be put on suspension. I understand the rules and expectations that I am to uphold as a member of this chapter, and I also know that our executive board, specifically blank person, was not upholding those standards. While I was initially called into standards for breaking silence, the reasoning behind that was my guy friends showed up to my apartment uninvited and stayed to give me a present. Smirnoff Ice, I think. I, along with a few other very active members of the chapter, were called in. Meanwhile, many other girls in our chapter who were in attendance were not called in. Either way, we unintentionally, in quotes, broke silence. And my punishment was to be sober at an event. I was in Austin, Texas for that event. When I returned, I was told I had to be a safety sister for an event a few weeks later. At this point, many other members have gotten called into standards for much more punishable offenses, in my opinion, than having people show up to their apartment to give a birthday present. In addition, I have an excellent relationship with the risk advisor who told me when we were leaving Alpha Chi Omega. I have an excellent relationship with the risk advisor who told me when we were leaving the sorority house to go out one night to, in quotes, not worry about it. Essentially, she assured me I would not have to be safety sister, and she already had more than enough people on her risk team for the event. Again, almost more than half the chapter left the event early, as people usually do. This is our Date Dash event. However, I, along with only a couple of girls in my pledge class, were called in for leaving early. I Ubered home in a car of 7 other people. I personally decided to get my date and I an Uber home because he was too drunk. Our risk team was unconcerned with my absence from the last 30 minutes of this social, not mandatory event. I was not contacted to help as a safety sister during this event either. If I was and did not help, I could understand the concern. However, I feel that I have just been targeted throughout this past semester for other reasons outside of me actually doing anything worthy of suspension. As punishment for these offenses, I lost my place. As punishment for these offenses, I was told I could bring a date and be sober sis for an event in downtown San Diego. When I arrived at the event, X person came onto my bus and started getting in my face and yelling at me. There are several witnesses to this display of immature and quite frankly embarrassing display of anger from our own executive board member. Even our own insert role tried telling insert person that she was overreacting and needed to calm down and get on her bus. When I got to the venue, I was accosted by her again, claiming that my sanction was that I couldn't go at all, when in fact, the sanction agreed upon during the meeting was that I could attend as a safety sister with the date. I guess I got that wrong. Many years ago. Not wanting to deal with the drama, my date and I got dinner in downtown San Diego and then took an Uber home. It is very frustrating because that event was paid for with dues that I pay. Well, my parents paid that. And was one of the more expensive and one of the most fun events for the semester. I never went inside the venue, and the next day I am being shown disgusting texts by freshmen who were on the risk team. Apparently, insert person did not know that I went home, and so she proceeded to text in a group text of freshmen saying, "I will Venmo $25 to whoever gets married uncle out of here." I am very close with most of the new pledge class, and they were coming to me saying things such as, "Why is she such a bully? Is that how the executive board always is?" Overall, she has personally attacked me all semester, and I think her character needs to be the one in question. I have never had a problem with a single girl in this sorority until recent events. I value my membership so much and have been one of the girls who attends almost all of the events, and I believe that I'm a valued asset to this chapter. I designed and sold 230 t-shirts this year to promote our sorority on campus, and insert person began not to like me because of this at the beginning of the semester. This part's petty. This is how you know I was 18. I really don't mean to sound rude or conceited, but I could sense a lot of jealousy. Relax. Jealousy after I did this because I know she tried designing shirts and selling them when she was a sophomore, and unfortunately it didn't work out. Okay. That's a low blow, Mary. I feel that if this issue of my membership was brought to every single member of the chapter besides insert person, there would be no question that my member should be safe. My membership should be safe. Thank you so much for taking the time to review my case. Sincerely, married uncle. And then the receipts that I have are my flight to Austin linked, and then text messages from girls to verify my claims.
Wow. That is a really well written letter for an 18-year-old.
Thank you.
That's a great argument.
I don't know why I feel like really guilty about like recording this and posting it. I don't want to like ruffle feathers. But also like I feel like shit like this still happens in sorority. So I just want to be clear that this isn't to like stir up old drama. Like, believe me, I've moved on. I really don't care. The reason I wanted to talk about this eventually on my podcast is to shed light on, I think, an institution, if you can call it that has sometimes in some scenarios a lot more negative than positive effects on women, especially the women who don't get into sororities, because the majority don't. There's a select amount of seats that, and if you don't fit the mold, like, you don't get in. And let's be honest, most of that is based on physical appearance. Most of it, sadly.
I think that is sad for all those people who don't get in.
It's horrible. People attach, it's like the work thing. If we can do a callback, it's like attaching all of your worth to your work, or like what association you're affiliated with.
Yeah, it's like a really shallow way to judge someone.
Very.
But in college, that's a big deal.
It is so
to
formative.
be a part of those things, and to have friends,
have community. Yeah. I found great community in it, and after I left, I was like lucky to have made friends in it that wanted to still be friends with me, which I think was telling of my character. The fact that like my real friends in the sorority were like, oh no, we want to be your friend. One of my best friends who lived in New York, she dropped out right after that.
That's a good friend.
Yeah.
That's a loyal friend.
She's loyal. Yeah. And I think she was just over it. Probably didn't want like her parents having to pay for it either. Didn't want to have to stay home and like in hiding when the guys were rushing the frats every fall, which was like such good weather in San Diego, like pool party central.
And you just had to stay inside.
Like basically, yeah. We weren't allowed to be seen like at a coffee shop talking to a guy, you know? Like how fucking nuts is that?
Yeah, it's intense.
It's intense.
That's super intense.
And I feel like when you're in it, people try and qualify it. Even to this day, if I talk about it with people who like went to the school and like were like kind of really into the sorority, like they'll defend it. Or at least try and like qualify it, which I think is, well, you know, my thoughts.
Well, that's a good story.
Thank you. I feel like I just hijacked this whole podcast.
No, it's great. I know nothing about sorority, so now I know.
Well, now that, wait, do you have a Nike tattoo on your leg?
Yeah.
Just do it?
Nike for life.
I love it.
It's like mostly nostalgic for my whole childhood. Wearing Nike socks every day of my life.
Wow. I love their new, they have an ad in Williamsburg that says like, don't waste your energy.
Oh.
I like that.
Yeah, I like Nike. I think
Nike ads and Apple ads really tug at my heartstrings.
Yeah, the quality.
Very like
simple,
emotional.
They hit it. Yeah. Yeah, they do a really good job.
I feel like I just like, wow. That was a lot of energy expelled into that story. It was traumatizing, honestly.
I can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really affected you.
It did. This was so petty of me too. I like to use humor in situations like this to get through. So this is another thing about sorority life. Everyone has matching backpacks that say the name of the sorority. So it's another status symbol on campus, like the black backpack with your sorority name.
Yeah.
So they were like, and throw away give back your backpack. I'm like, I paid for this. Okay, chill out. So I got a backpack, a pink velvet backpack that in sequins, similar to my sign here, said troublemaker.
Wow, you really stuck it to him.
Yeah.
Wow, you got a big personality. You like to
I know. I don't like to be walked all over.
Yeah.
I feel like I was walked over a lot as a child just because I was like, I don't know. This is something I talk about with my therapist.
No, but how have you learned to be
more assertive?
Assertive, yeah. And to stick your ground, because a lot of people, especially in college, they just want to find somewhere that they can fit. And so they blend and they bend in a lot of ways to make sure that they do conform to the mold, and you clearly don't. What's made that?
That's such a nice thing to say. I think that, and I reposted something on Instagram recently that said like something along the lines of like, thank you to my dad for raising me. Like, it was like, effectively the sentiment was like for raising me with a very masculine energy. And I think this is something I've had to learn over time, especially from being a woman in software sales, is like, I think because I've always been an athlete, I did like every sport growing up and I got a lot of concussions from it. So I wasn't able to progress in it, but I did qualify for the Junior Olympics in swimming when I was younger, but I never went, unfortunately. Just because my parents were super busy with 5 kids. But I think sports give me a lot of confidence. and like gave me confidence that like I'm more than just like how I look or something like that I think a lot of women experience. So sports gave me a lot of confidence. And then I think as an adult, how I've tapped into my confidence is really realizing that, and this happened a lot when I left corporate America, is like that I don't have to be masculine to be respected. Because I think for a long time, I really put on like this masculine front so that I could get respect. And for me, I don't even know if masculine is the right word, because I think that puts people who consider themselves masculine in a box. I think it's just not being myself and being a more abrasive version of myself to get what I need to get done. And I think now I've found more power in like silence is very powerful, and kindness and just being real.
So before you like leaned into that abrasive side of you, because the abrasive masculine side of you, because that brought respect.
I think I found a pattern of like, okay, I if I have to stand up for myself, it's like when you're a child and a guy's pushing you on the playground, that they're like, oh, they're flirting. And I'm like, well, I don't want to be pushed around. So I don't care if it's flirting. It's not fun for me. It's actually annoying. It's annoying.
Yeah.
So like learn another way to flirt. It's just not okay to just put these blanket statements out that make certain behaviors okay for certain genders or whatever, you know? So I think I learned like, okay, in order to like get these 9-year-old boys in line, I have to be a bitch. And that carried into adulthood. And then I was like a bitch, and I was like, well, I'm actually a really nice person if you actually know me. But if I'm put in a competitive setting, especially at like a work setting, that's a New York-based SaaS company that's like really cutthroat in a very competitive industry, yeah, that's how it's going to come out of me, because historically that's how I found success. And I think that did help me succeed. And then it made me burn out, you know?
That's cool that now you've learned to be respected and have that respect by being kind and those other things that you were saying.
Thank you.
Yeah, way to go.
Where do you think you get your confidence? Because you seem very calm which I think calm and confidence, I don't know if they go hand in hand, but it's something I've noticed is a similarity in a lot of people that I respect.
Calm and confident.
Yeah.
I've never thought about that. That those go together. I think I've gotten a lot of confidence I think it just takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
In middle school, I was actually growing up, I was a really shy kid. I was like really scared of people, and I was
dark.
Like very sensitive, and I was scared of dinosaurs under my bed. All the things. No, but really I was a shy little kid. And then, yeah, I think just as you grow up and you learn skills, you learn how to make friends. And I honestly think just like a lot of it takes time.
Yeah.
Just like learning who you are. And I think the more and more you trust yourself and like keep the promises you said to yourself and keep the promises you said to other people, you like slowly gain more and more trust and confidence in yourself.
Yeah. And I know that you grew up Mormon, and like Mormon beliefs aside, because we're not really digging into that today, like this has nothing to do with the specifics of like beliefs in the Mormon community, but do you think that having like that type of structure in your life helped you? Because for me, I grew up Catholic. I went to a Catholic school until I busted out of there. And after 6th grade, I was like, I can't do the uniforms and like the mean teachers. I was like, I'm out.
In 6th grade?
Yeah. I was like, I'm out.
Wow.
There were some nice ones.
From a kid, you really...
My dad really empowered me to say like, and my mom like, sure, you can go to the public school. It's fine. Less tuition, but we have to pay.
Cool.
But it's just, they were doing what they thought was right. My dad went to the same school I went to, the same Catholic school, until they sent us there. And I was like, this isn't for me. So they let me leave. But my point is, I think I did get a lot of values from growing up in a church. Like my mom always has preached to be kind to others. Like kindness is the most important thing. You never know what someone is going through. But I think for me, it went too far where like, if you are so understanding of people, you have to set a boundary at some point. It's like, yes, I understand that you've had troubles, but everyone does. And now you're an adult and you have to deal with them like an adult, you know? But so for you, I guess my question is, how do you think growing up in the Mormon community positively impacted you regardless of your beliefs today?
I just feel really lucky. I was raised in like a really beautiful, amazing home.
Yeah.
With
Amazing.
like parents who just like always loved me and supported me.
What are their names?
Everything. Jen and Jeff.
Jen and Jeff, J&J.
Yes.
Shout out.
Yes.
You raised a great son. You got to
job,
show him
Mom
this
and
clip.
Dad. Yeah, I loved them. Oh, I love them. One of the coolest things they did is they were very supportive of everything I wanted to try.
Love it.
So any like sport or anything I wanted to try, they were
What was
all
your
in
main
on
sport? Did you have
helping
one?
me. I love football and lacrosse. Those are my main.
Got to be careful
sports.
with CTE. That's what I wrote my senior paper on.
Really?
Yeah. Scary.
Well, I love football. I think it's worth it.
Respect.
I learned a ton of confidence through sports as well. For sure. My dad coached me all growing up as a kid.
Cute.
Yeah.
That's so sweet.
Yeah,
my dad
really
coached
cool.
me too in basketball.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
It like creates a really special bond when you like drive to practice together
fun.
and you chat the whole way there
Yeah.
and you practice together and you talk
Yeah.
about plays and all the things. Yeah, it's so fun.
But you think that that's back to like growing up in like the Mormon community? Like, was that a big
I grew
part?
up in a very like just beautiful like community in itself.
Okay. So you just, everyone was
Because-
very, their beliefs, everyone was kind of like-minded, I guess.
Yeah, like it's interesting. Just like in sororities, like everyone wants to be with people who are kind of like themselves.
Yeah.
Like you want to find people who you feel like you're like, and so you feel like you can belong.
Yes.
And so I feel like a big sense of belonging and community growing up, because we would go to church every Sunday and see all the same people, and they were invested in my life. Like I had all these church leaders who were very
They
invested
cared
in
about
my
you.
life, and they cared about me.
I had a similar experience as well.
So it was really a really great community to grow up in.
That's amazing. I love it. Well, we have 9 minutes left and I have to pee, so we're going to wrap it up here. Wait, you know what we have to end with though? What is good enough? What's good enough these days? Did we even say what's not good enough?
No, we didn't even finish
start.
we didn't even finish the story of how I met you.
Oh yeah. Okay, let's tell that. We have 9 minutes. Chip chop.
Okay, real quick.
Take your time.
I met these people last night.
These people. You met me.
Before meeting you,
Oh.
I met this friend. All day I was kind of like alone, and normally I'm a very friendly person, but in New York, I've felt like people just want to be to themselves.
Very scary in New York.
And so I was talking to this new
But
friend.
lots of friendly people too.
Who was friendly to me, and she kind of like encouraged me to like, no, just be yourself and make friends.
Yeah.
Because people in New York, like they're never gonna make the first move. But if you reach out to them, people want to chat and make friends.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna go be friendly. And so I had just talked to them and I left and I was walking down the street and I saw you and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try to be friendly. And so then I like passed you and then I looked back and I was like,
just like high eating ice cream.
I'm going to ask her about her ice cream. And so then we started that conversation. And so it was like really cool how.
Did you even get ice cream after that?
I almost did. I went in there and then I was like, I actually like need some real food. So I went and got pizza.
Where'd you go?
Joe's Pizza.
Ooh, I'm going to get some. I'm going out tonight. I'm going out. I think I'm going to get some late night Joe's.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Okay. Anyways, so that was just like really fun.
I love that. What's the girl's name that you met?
Phoebe.
Yeah. Ooh, I love that name. That's a spicy name.
She's a muralist.
Ooh.
Yeah, she's tight.
I might need her to do some guerrilla marketing for me for my podcast.
Yeah. Start tagging the city.
You have her number?
Yeah.
Lincoln Builds.
Yeah.
I almost just threw up those words coming out of my mouth. Okay, so this podcast is called Good Enough. I think a fun segment to do would be like, what's good enough right now? What's not good enough? I'll start.
Okay.
Not good enough. People using their horns. You're using them wrong. Horns are for when you're in danger. They're not for you to express your emotions. Do you agree?
I feel like there should be multiple types of horns on a car. One like, I'm annoyed, and one like, hey, it's green, please. Like a nice horn and a annoying horn.
Okay. What else that's not good enough is, I don't really know. I can't think of it. I can't think of anything. Oh,
Jobs.
you had one. Unemployment benefits.
Unemployment benefits.
I agree.
I need to get
I have
those.
an unemployed friend who I was talking to in LA today, and she's like, yeah, $450 a week's not cutting it. I'm like, certainly not in LA, baby. Gonna have to start hustling.
A week is great.
Not in LA when if your rent's like
true.
$2,000.
Oh, that's true.
You know, the thing is, I talk to people who are unemployed who have parents who can afford to help them out, or friends who will like help them out, or like they have the opportunity to like do random side jobs. But like if you're truly unemployed, like if you're like an unemployed person with like no network, like you're fucked.
Network is huge. Yeah. If you don't know people to connect you to certain jobs.
Yeah. Especially in like an expensive city. I mean, if you live in like middle of nowhere, I'm sure you'd be living large off $450 a week. I don't know where in America you could be living large off of that, but do you?
It also depends how much your rent is.
Yeah. Maybe if you
$450 a week is
build yourself a shack in San Diego, no heating or AC necessary.
Go be homeless in Hawaii.
Well, I feel like San Diego is a great place to be homeless.
I actually think
it
is good enough to be homeless.
We're going to end the podcast right there. It's a very controversial thing to say. I have to pee. Thank you so much for being my first guest. Give me a hug. It was so fun, Spencer. Enjoy your travels.
Thank you.
Yeah. Tell them to follow and subscribe and like, and tell your friends. And if you were in my sorority, I'm sorry if I upset you, but this is a real story. I think this is about raising awareness about systems in America that are messed up. So it's not about you. It's about this greater system. Just remember that. It's okay. You were a child.
What would you like for me to say?
Oh, will you just tell them to support me so that I don't have to go back to work in corporate America? Because Lexapro didn't work for me. I can't go back.
Please support Mary.
Please.
She's doing amazing things.
Actually, we have to be assumptive. This is something you learn in sales. Just say thank you for supporting Mary.
Oh, thank you for supporting Mary.
Thank you so much.
For listening to this podcast.
Sharing it and liking
Send it to all your
Send
friends.
it to your mom. Send it to your 12-year-old cousin who shouldn't have an iPhone. Just send it to everyone.
Send it to your sorority friends.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Over and out.
Like and subscribe.
Bye.